What's up, guys? I want to share with you a story. I don't want to put anybody on blast, and I don't want to make anybody feel embarrassed or anything like that. But I think there's a lot of value in sharing this story because it is something that I personally have done in the past, and I think there's something that we can all learn from this. So, this is all tied around the idea that judgment is the unsung hero of effective entrepreneurs. And judgment is a hell of a thing to develop. It truly is. It's the hardest thing to develop. It takes a lot of intention, takes a lot of time, a lot of experience. And that means that when you're young and you have fewer experiences to kind of lean on, your judgment is probably worse. Like your idea of what's a good idea or how to make a decision, it's just not as robust as when you're 72 years old and you've seen a lot more. You have a lot more data points to make your decisions based off of. And so what that means is that typically when you're young, you do dumb things. Like it's just how it is. And I'm not recommending that you try to avoid that. In fact, if anything, I think you just need to lean into it and make as many dumb decisions as possible in as short a period of time, get the reps in so that you can develop that judgment. You can develop that database of, oh shit, don't do that, because that can be a powerful learning mechanism. And it was for me. You know, I did a video a while back called Things I Regret About My 20s or something like that. And truly, I don't actually regret my 20s. I fucked up. I did a lot of things wrong, put myself into bad situations, and I put myself way behind the 8 ball in terms of like, you know, progressing in life towards what I perceive to be like my potential. But all that's to say is like I learned a lot in the process of fucking up. So like I'm not gonna pretend like that was wasted, because that was a very valuable education. I paid my tuition at the School of Hard Knocks on my own dime, and it served me really well in my 30s and now almost into my 40s. And I say all this because the person that reached out to me, he DM'd me, and he was so proud. He was so proud of himself. He sent me a picture of his phone's wallpaper, like the home screen when you open it up. And there was a picture of what I can only describe as like, it was a collage of fancy watches and cars and houses, like all kind of stacked on top of each other in a haphazard way. And then in the middle, there was like what said November goals. And there was 3 goals listed out, 1, 2, 3. And so the way that he described this is that it's his vision board. Every time he opens up his phone, he sees what he's supposed to be working on for the month, like those 3 most important goals. And then he sees all of the watches and the cars and the things that he wants in his life. So it motivates him. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any of that. Like, I think visualization is a very powerful tool, and we can use that. I think vision boarding can be a powerful tool, all of this stuff, right? The part that I want to talk about, though, is those 3 goals that he had listed on his screen were for November. For the entire month of November, he said, these are the 3 most important goals that I want to accomplish. And one of those goals was already crossed out, and it read, create wallpaper vision board. And so what he was showing me, this wallpaper for his phone, was his goal for November, to create this thing. That was his goal. And I can't tell you how poor a use of a time that is if your goal is to actually achieve those things. Like, you want the watches, you want the money, you want the cars, you want all that stuff. This is what I call productive procrastination. It is working around the fringes of the core activity. And it is spending more time trying to get yourself in the right mindset to work than it is actually doing the work that will move you forward towards your goals. Now, if his goal, if his business, I don't know, I don't think it is this, was to create vision wallpapers for clients, and that was his new shtick, then sure, he needs to develop a skill, put in the reps, and that could be a good goal. But if your whole goal for the month, if one of your core goals for the entire month is just to create the vision board that is going to motivate you in the future to do the work, you're focusing on the wrong things. You're mentally masturbating. You're not doing the core activities that need to be done that will actually move you towards your goals. And I'm not saying don't visualize and don't do these activities that will, keep it firm in the mind, like where you're trying to go. But that should never be the big goals. You need to move through that phase as quickly as possible. You should not be spending all your time and energy perfecting the vision board. Get it up, get it good enough, slap it together, take 20 minutes. Don't spend a whole month on it. Spend your whole month on doing the things that will actually drive the results you would like to have happen in your life. And you need to become very clear. This is where judgment becomes a superpower. To be able to determine what are those things that will move you forward and what things won't move you forward. Because if this guy had judgment, he could have looked at it and said, you know what, this actually isn't going to get me any closer to my goals. It's just going to make me feel better. And feeling better isn't enough, because the universe doesn't care how you feel. It cares what you do. So if you want the results, you're going to have to take the actions, the right actions. And the right actions are usually the result of good decisions. And so if you want to develop good decision making, like, I think you need to be very intentional about cultivating that and saying, like, I'm going to do this with, I'm going to go about this in a programmatic, systematized way that increases my likelihood of actually developing good judgment. So if you want to learn how to do that, there's a YouTube video I put out a long time ago called 3 Skills That'll Quickly Transform Your Life. Judgment, decision making is one of those that we unpack in there, specifically how to create a decision journal to be able to improve the quality of your decisions, so you're not wasting your time on the things that don't matter. So that's all I got for you guys. Maybe this is a harsh one. Hope it wasn't too harsh. But sometimes we need to have some harsh love, and we need to have our heads smacked around a little bit, and people be like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. Focus on the right things. I know I do. Like, I've done this. I've been where this guy was. I have done this. And so I can say it with love in my heart and being like, don't do this. It doesn't work. So hope this brings you guys value. I don't know if it did or not, or if I'm just a cranky old man yelling at people to get off his lawn, but I'll catch you guys in the next episode. You're always welcome on my lawn. I'll see you then. Stay hyper focused, guys.